I'm really excited to be here. It's been really fun meeting students here in Korea and elsewhere. I think our current students are fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some excellent students come in and to watching the Asia campus grow, and for students to get that U.S. university experience with all of the resources that it provides in a unique environment and in a smaller campus setting.
Probably the biggest draw for a Korean student to come to the UAC is they receive the same education from the same professors and ultimately receive a degree from the University of Utah, which can help set them apart than if they were to go to a top tier school in Korea, even though it's not one of the Ivy Leagues. And so I think the Western education spin on this is what really makes us dynamic and makes students competitive when they graduate and go into the workplace.
This is my first experience living abroad here in Korea, and it's been a fascinating experience culturally and in terms of language and people and food, and really having the time to dive into a culture rather than just visiting has been a really great experience.
Well, of course, diversity is what students can expect from this UAC campus.
Well, I see us bringing diverse program here, so students can choose from a wide variety of majors.
I'm really positive that, as I said, we'll be one of the major universities in the world, and people will really know about us and really want to be a part of this campus and this university. So I'm very thrilled to be part of this project and this campus, and we have the opportunity to see the campus grow.
UAC is a growing campus. I see us continuing to build momentum for the future.
I think my favorite part about Songdo is that it's a pretty diverse community. You find obviously lots of Korean people here, but also lots of expats, people from all over the world doing different kinds of jobs, whether it's being involved in education or large multinational corporations. You find people involved in all sorts of work and from all parts of the world, which is probably my favorite part. You can go to downtown Songdo and find all sorts of different foods, Korean food, American food, Middle Eastern food, you name it. So there's always something interesting going on. Songdo is also a really pretty place to live, I think. The outdoor green space is phenomenal, so you get a city feel, an urban environment, but with some green space and some space to be outside and enjoy yourself and be active. So for me, it has the best of both worlds.
I'd have to say that it would be the people I work with are wonderful. It is a small community right here. Being able to associate with faculty and staff, not only from the UAC, but also from the other universities, has been amazing.
It's very different than a typical Korean city that I've experienced. I mean, most Korean cities are very old, and the progression that's gone from the 1980s until right now was such rapid growth that I think didn't allow for a lot of planning, and so a lot of the streets you see in Korea are smaller. A lot of them aren't. It's not a grid system like we see in Salt Lake City, but Songdo is the exact opposite. I mean, every inch of this has been planned from the beginning, and every detail has been taken care of, and so it feels much more like a Western city to me than the rest of Korea does, with the same Korean flair of the neon lights and the constant people always walking everywhere, always something to do, sort of thing. So I've been really impressed with the city itself.
I met a lot of cool expats here and foreigners here. That's the cool part of living in Songdo compared to any other cities in Korea.
I've only been living here for 1 year, but so far I'm enjoying it. I really like to see how the city is developing. It is still a developing city, and it's growing to be an international city. And there are very good restaurants all around Songdo. So if you like Korean food, there's always one for that. But also if you like international food, there's a lot of things to eat.
I really like meeting the people living here in Songdo, both Koreans and expats from all over the world. I think they always have something interesting to offer, meeting different people from all over the place. To live in another country and represent a U.S. university that provides students with a chance to study in two countries, earn their U.S. degree, and experience different cultures all at the same time. I just think it is unique from anything I've ever seen.
That's been amazing. I love every faculty and staff members here, and our students are amazing, and of course all this building and everything's amazing. People who've never been to Utah, when they come into my office, I like to give them a little talk about how awesome Utah is, and then tell them about Utah, like life in Utah.
I've had a really strong connection with Korea from living here two other occasions, and then previous to this I worked for the Utah state government in the governor's office of economic development, and saw the great things that Utah was doing. I take a lot of pride in being from Utah, being a Utahn in our state, and all the progress that we've made in the last 5 to 10 years. And I saw this as another great opportunity for Utah to expand its footprint globally. Governor Herbert made it one of his initiatives to make Utah known outside of the state, outside of the United States. He wanted to increase global exports. He wanted to increase the global footprint of Utah. And the University of Utah, I'm an alumni there, and it made sense. It was Korea. It was everything Utah. It was just such an easy decision for me to come out here.
Well, I think that over the next 5 years or so, the University of Utah Asia campus will just continue to expand. We've seen a great amount of student interest here in Korea. I think that students are starting to become aware of the programs that we're offering and the opportunity that they provide. But we've also seen a lot of interest from outside of Korea as well. So I think that in 5 years, we'll have a large student body that I think will be quite active here on campus and in the community. But I'd really like to see it also be a diverse student body. I think we'll have students from all over the world studying all sorts of different things and speaking different languages, and really making it a fun, unique, diverse place for students to study. And I expect it to continue to grow, and as we grow and the other universities also grow. I think it's going to be a fun, rewarding place for students to study and get their education.
5 years from now, I think this is going to be a pretty amazing place. Number one, I think campus in general is going to be much more expanded, right? I think we're in phase 2 of our development right now, and we're going to go on, I think there's up to 5 phases of the construction, so over the next 5 to 10 years. So I think you're going to see the campus is probably going to double in size, just in facilities, not to mention the amount of students, the amount of faculty. We're going to begin to see businesses coming into campus and occupying some of the space here, offering services like that. So 5 years from now, I think this is going to be a thriving metropolis. I think it's going to be, a huge tourist attraction. It's going to be one of the coolest places in Korea, I think.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have like everyone just smiling and with a U, and then have like everyone's face.
That's a good idea.
And then like dissolve it to become a big U. And
Okay.